Hello, hello, everyone coming in. Excited to be here today. Bear with me. I am just trying to make sure that we are good to go with the tech. All right. So we actually are. I am just waiting for Facebook to give me the go ahead. But until then, I'm excited. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm not gonna wait around on the Facebook group. If you know anything about live streaming, we used to be able to easily go live in Facebook groups. And then for some reason um they took away the capability. And now it's just like this whole convoluted process to go live in Facebook groups using any type of software. And it is just not user friendly. I'm going to say that. I wish they'd go back to doing it the other way. But anywho, I'm excited about being here today because today we're talking about writing a profitable book, strategies for earning money and gaining media exposure. And so there's a specific reason why I actually wanted to talk about this topic. And for those of you all who are new to me, for those of you all who, you know, um, are not that familiar with me, my name is Jasmine Womack, and I work with experts, leaders, and consultants to help them transform their expertise into the type of book that is going to grow your speaking, your coaching, and your consulting business. All right. So I work with a very specific group of people. Oh, I'm sorry. I work with a very specific group of people to help you get a very specific result with a very specific end goal and purpose. All right. And so I have been doing this work full time for 6 years, about 8 years total. And I've had a lot of success, not just in my business, but also in the business that I have helped my clients to create. And so I'm really excited about what we're going to about today's topic, okay? And one of the reasons why I really absolutely had to come and talk about this is because when people talk about writing a book, for some reason they think about it in a silo, and they're like, "Oh, I just want to write a book," but they don't think about really how they're going to leverage their book to grow their business, which means that you're going to make more money and get media exposure. Okay. Media exposure means that you're getting featured on podcasts. Media exposure means that you're getting featured on different news stations and in different news outlets. Media exposure, it means that you have article you're having articles written up about you and about the work that you're doing. And you know what? Over time, what happens, media exposure means that your work is featured in blogs and blog posts. And over time, you have this body of work, you have this body of work that begins to be created. And what I know about many experts, leaders, people in leadership positions, is that you dominate in areas in which you're comfortable. You dominate in areas in which you have some type of familiarity. But one thing about business, and I was talking about this earlier today in the workshop that I conducted for the Write Your Book That Grows Your Brand workshop. One thing about entrepreneurship is that it's going to require you to take risks, and it's going to require you to be visible, likely on a level in which you have never done before. One of the things that I know about working with leaders is that you have no problem being out in front. But the issue is that when you're out in front, whether it's in your job or whether it's in the company that you created, that is a space that's familiar to you. That is an industry that you know. What's required when you are writing a book that you want to monetize and you want to gain media exposure is that now you have to actually go and speak and train and do things with people and in environments that you are not that familiar with until you actually train yourself to become familiar with it. And this is what's going to be required. A lot of people say that they want the visibility, but then when it's time to do the things that you have to do to get the visibility that you say that you want, there becomes a blockage. And so today I want to explore that blockage and I want to share some strategies on how you can actually move forward and move out of being in that blocked space, right? Because I know too many folks who say, oh, yeah, they want to be bestsellers. They want to make money from their book. They want to speak on all the stages. They want to do all the things. They want the notoriety. But then if we talk about, okay, let's create some content. Then when we talk about, okay, let's put together a list of podcasts to pitch. We don't want to pitch. We don't want to do the pitching, right? When we talk about let's position ourselves to get on the news, it's like, yeah, I want to be on the news, but I don't want hundreds of thousands of people to see me because I don't want to make a mistake. What happens if I make a mistake? Okay. We've got to move past it. So let's get into the strategies. Let's get into the strategies that we're going to actually begin to implement to earn money. There we go. Facebook group is finally streaming. It took about 10 minutes for it to kick in. All right. But how do we actually make sure that we're writing a profitable book and that we're able to earn money from it and gain media exposure? So let's talk about it. Okay. The first thing that you have to do is to actually understand your market. When you're writing a book that you want to leverage to grow your business, then that means that you are going to be writing a book for a particular industry that a particular type of person needs. This person has a challenge and they're looking for a solution. So you have to understand that when you're writing the type of book that's going to earn you money and gain you media exposure and grow your brand, you're not writing just any type of book. You're not writing a book where you're talking all about your life. You're not writing a memoir style book. You're writing a book to a certain particular person that is giving them a solution to a problem that they have. And usually this is a problem that you may have already had and that you've already overcome, which is what your book is about. How you got through the go through. Okay? But even in that, even though you're leveraging your personal professional experiences and expertise as the as a foundation for your book, you still have to understand that that there has to be market research that is conducted. What is the market looking for? Because while there are others out there that have the same challenges that you had and that are now looking for the solutions that you provide, how they articulate that challenge likely is going to look, be, and sound very different than how you articulate the challenge. So remember, when you're writing a book that you want to monetize, when we talk about monetizing, we're not just talking about monetizing through individual book sales. We're talking about bulk book sales. We're talking about keynotes. We're talking about workshops. We're talking about coaching offers. We're talking about training programs, right? We're talking about licensing. We're talking about doing this thing on a real thought leadership level. We're thinking big here. We're playing big. We're playing the long game. Okay. And so when doing this, you got to understand that that part of your marketing and part of your messaging is going to be your ability to be able to connect to the heart of your audience. And the ability to connect is done through the words and through the examples and stories that you give in your marketing. Unless you understand what resonates with your potential reader and client, you run a huge risk of writing something that you're only and you're the only person that's interested in it because of the way that you phrased it. Like if you say, okay, I'm writing a book to help experts overcome complex business strategies, you're the only person who knows what that means. Versus if you get very specific, if you get not business strategies, business challenges. I'm writing a book to help people overcome very complex business challenges. Honestly, from a marketing and messaging standpoint, you're the only person who knows what that complex business challenge is. You're the only person who knows what you mean by that. This is where you got to conduct market research so that you can actually make sure that you're speaking and interviewing to your ideal clients and you ask them what are the top 3 challenges that they're facing in their business. And yes, these need to be people who are in the same industry. If you're writing a topic about writing on this, they need to be in the same industry, typically with the same number of years of experience with the same position. And you ask them, like it could be executive leaders who, have worked at the company for X amount of years, but they've been in leadership for this amount of years. And they all work in one specific industry. It could be the textile industry. It could be the financial industry. Okay. That's what we're talking about, niching down. You got to understand who your market is, who you're marketing to. Because when you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to nobody. But you need to understand from them what their challenges are. And when you interview multiple people, you will begin to see commonalities. And this way, you can then take that same information and incorporate it into your book and also into your marketing efforts. So this way, you can make sure that you're not writing a book just based off of content that you think is interesting, but you're writing a book based off of content that you know that the market actually needs, and you know that the market needs it because you took your time to do the research. It is absolutely baffling to me how any business owner, how any leader, how any entrepreneur says that they want to accomplish certain things, but they never take the time to even conduct market research. And you know that before you do anything business wise, the first thing that you have to do is actually survey the land and know what know the scope of the work and scope of the land and know what you're getting into. Okay, so you've got to understand your market. The second part to writing a profitable book, if you want to earn money and gain exposure, is actually to write a book that solves a specific problem. You're focusing on one problem. You're focusing on writing to one reader. You are not writing to all of the people. You're not writing to the whole entire company because you got to understand. And I'm just using business as an example. The employees have different challenges and the middle managers have a different and the middle managers have different challenges than the top executives. So you can't write one book to every single level because each level has different challenges and different things that matter to them and different ways in which they need to elevate. So you need to write a book that's targeted towards a particular audience, right? That is going to help them solve a problem. If you are not writing a book that is solving a problem, it is going to be very difficult for you to monetize on the back end. Very difficult for you to monetize beyond the book. Okay. The next step is that when you write the book, you actually need to publish it, because if you don't publish the book, it's never going to get sold. You cannot monetize something that you actually don't bring to market. And I cannot tell you how many people have the idea or how many people start the process, but they never see the process all the way through. It makes no sense to me. Finish what you start. Finish what you start. Finish what you begin. You actually need to see it through and bring it to market. Now, when it comes to publishing your book, that involves a lot more than just putting your book onto Amazon, people. Amazon is a platform that you can publish your book on, but it's not publishing your book. Publishing your book is a series of steps that you are actually going to take to bring your book to market. That means that it involves editing multiple rounds of copy and developmental editing. It involves you putting together your back end sales systems. It requires you to make sure that you have your sales pages together and that you have automated follow ups together. It involves you selecting the platforms and the formats that you're going to publish your book on and the formats you're going to publish your book in. Okay. It includes it includes a lot of other your messaging and your positioning, including the language that you're using, because the language that you're using impacts your level of positioning and how serious you're taken as an expert and the level of credibility that you will attain. Now, a lot of people stop at writing and publishing the book, but you know what? You've got to actually take the time to develop a concrete marketing plan. And marketing is not just putting up a post. Marketing is not just putting up a post and saying, "Hey, I have a book, please buy it." That is not marketing. Marketing is a series of steps that you are using to effectively, efficiently, and consistently spread your message and 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 convince people to buy your product. Now, in terms of writing a book, you actually will have three different campaigns. You have your marketing campaign includes your pre-launch. It's not three campaigns, but three different sections. It includes your pre-launch, your actual launch, and your post-launch. One of the reasons why many experts don't have success with their books is because they play the short game instead of the long game when it comes to their books. Okay. You're playing the long game. You're creating an information product where you're packaging your expertise and you're going to be able to sell it over and over and over again. Your book is really an evergreen product that you will be able to sell for the next 3, 5, and 10 years. Y'all, my first book came out in 2016, and I still sell copies of it. Still sell copies of it. Okay. Now, when it comes to securing media features, there are a couple of ways that you can secure media features. You've got the free ways and the paid ways. If you want to secure media and you don't want to pay for it, then you're going to have to learn how to build relationships and pitch platforms. Pitch people and pitch platforms. So when I mean by pitching, this means that you've taken the time to identify popular platforms that your audience is already looking to and listening to for answers, guidance, and solutions. You don't just accept offers from everywhere. These need to be platforms that your people are already tuned into. They're already, listening to. Okay. You need to develop a list and you need to develop a script to pitch them, meaning emails, sending out emails. Getting featured on podcasts is so easy. And when you have a book, that's probably one of the top places you need to be, is speaking on other people's podcasts. But not just any podcast. They need to be podcasts that have an audience that's complementary to yours. It's an audience. It needs to be a podcast that has an audience who needs what you're giving. And I'll be honest with you, because we teach our clients and people who come to our programs how to pitch. And so I'm not going to actually give you guys a script here, but you can use ChatGPT to create one and start sending it out. You can literally ask, listen, I'm looking to get featured on X podcast. You can you can post post something on social media, post a post where you're like where you're sharing your desire around getting featured to speak on podcasts, and asking people for recommendations, or letting folks know if you need a guest, I'm available. Okay? And when you pitch for these features, you need to make sure that you are directing the pitch to the person, and it's not and that there's some customization there, and that you're not just sending one blanket email to a whole bunch of different people. Okay? One of the sites that I learned a very long time ago, and I'm going to share it with you all because I learned it in a free workshop, and so I'm going to give it to you all free, is to go to Haro, Help a Reporter Out. Okay. Now, Haro recently changed their name, but you can still go to helpareporterout.com and it'll forward you to their new site. But this is a website where journalists put out hundreds of queries a day because they are looking for experts to feature in their articles. It is a very easy way to get featured in publications. Okay. You can also follow contributors. Go to online magazines, whether it's Forbes, whether it's Black Enterprise, look to see who the contributing authors are. Look them up on LinkedIn or on Instagram and follow them. But then over time, begin building a relationship with them. Like their content, comment on their content, share their content, send emails to them about the content or articles they put out. You want your name to get familiar. And then eventually you can pitch them to be featured in the on the platform and have an article written up about you. These are the types of things that you have to do to gain media exposure. You can use the same process when you want to be featured on the news. News anchors are always looking for stories to feature. How come you have not pitched them? You know the news anchors in your town. You can probably look them up. If you go to the website of the news station, usually they have their emails right there on the website. Have you even gone to the news outlet website? Have you read any of the articles and reached out to the people writing the articles? Have you looked under the different tabs on the site and found the email addresses of the people that actually conduct the research and pitch them? Like, it's not difficult to get on the news. We've helped several clients to get on the news. You just have to have a compelling feature. So again, this is where understanding the language to use comes in, your messaging, and understanding how to pitch them, because essentially you're reaching out to pitch them and say, look, I think this would be great for your viewers. And here's a bonus. If you can tie in your topic to something, that's notable, that increases your chances of getting featured. For instance, if you can tie in your topic to, like, say, the new year, if you can tie in your topic to domestic violence awareness month, if you can tie in your topic to prostate cancer awareness day, if you can tie in your topic to what is it, bosses day, for all my folks who do things with executive coaching, executive leadership, have you pitched the media to be featured because you have a solution for, leaders and executives, and you're trying to tie that in to bosses day. But let me tell you guys this: when you want to operate on this manner and monetize and get press features, you cannot be last minute, and you cannot be all over the place in terms of your marketing, promotions, and sales. Like, you have to take time to actually plan out your launch strategy, plan out your content calendar, because if you wait until the week before, they're likely not going to bring you on. This means that you need to, like, right now it's July, you need to start thinking about October, November, December, and January. What type of media features you want and how you can spin your topic and tie it in to holidays or days of significance around those times of the year. And you need to start pitching for those and building relationships for features around that time of the year now. So this means you actually have to work 3 to 6 months out when you want to be successful with this. Now, after you've built up a certain level of credibility and you built relationships, then you don't have to do that, because then people are just they might just invite you to come back. But in the beginning, you've got to work 3 to 6 months out. So this is what means you got to pull out your calendar and backwards plan. And I find that a lot of experts don't. You do it for your work, but you got to do it for your business too. Okay. Now, if you need help doing all of this and bringing this to fruition, then there are 2 ways that you can work with me and my team. Okay. The first way is by coming to our live event, Published and Paid Live. Published and Paid Live is October 11th and 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, this isn't just any type of event, this is a training event specifically designed to help leaders and experts transform their $1 million message into a best-selling book and high-ticket coaching program. And one of the differences about Published and Paid Live is that you're not going to have all of these speakers just kind of talking at you. You're going to be trained, and then you'll have room and time and space in the room to actually implement and execute on what we're teaching. So this is a learning and implementation event. So you can go to Published and Paid Live, published with an ED and paidlive.com to learn more and secure your ticket. Guys, we are down to the final 6 VIP tickets. Okay. You can also work with me and my team in the Author Made Easy Bootcamp. This is a 12-month coaching program designed to help leaders write, self-publish, market, launch, and monetize your book, your brand building, your book, and grow your brand. So if you'd like more information about Author Made Easy Bootcamp, you can go to www.authormadeeasybootcamp.com. So those are the 2 ways that you can work with me. Come to our live event in Atlanta, October 11th and 12th, or you can apply to work with me in the program. Okay. Either way, if you have questions about anything, feel free to put a comment under this video or send me a private direct message and we can have a conversation. All right. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. You guys have a great rest of your day and I'll see you later.